Hello. Hi everyone. Our problem statement is secure wireless controller for handheld remote operation of traffic signals in peak hours. Let me introduce my team. Our teammates are me, Kesharan, Chandra, Kiran and Jatin. Now let us understand the problem statement deeply. Our problem statement ensures smooth flow of traffic. As we know, the population is keep on increasing. The need of transportation has also been increasing for logistics as well as for common human use. So that there is rise in number of vehicles on the road. Due to this, traffic jams is quite increasing. As traffic jams are increasing, pollution levels are also increasing. This causes high risk in human. Rate of vehicular accidents are increasing due to driver impatience in traffic and causes massive economic losses. Government has been taking many steps to control traffic and to decrease accident by constructing more roads. But construction of more roads alone does not deal with traffic congestion, since busy intersections and connection roads can become bottleneck to traffic flow. This is a common problem faced by people in India, which leads to delayed arrivals to their own destinations. This affects daily routines of many people. As we know, to prevent this kind of things, the traffic rules are important. They must be obeyed. But this is not feasible to control very large traffic in a country like India. As we know, the Indians are in urge to move. They does not obey the traffic rules. Now, my friend will continue upon the users.
Now let us understand the users. The first user is the traffic police. The user who spends most of the time controlling the traffic is the traffic police. As we know, there are many laws and orders implemented by the traffic police so that they can save our lives from collisions in traffic. These rules usually save our lives most of the day while traveling on the road. The traffic police help us to save our lives by imposing strict orders and rules like wearing a helmet all the times so that we may not collide with other vehicles and it prevents our loss of life. India is a very highly populated country. The traffic congestion would be high and it affects the traffic policemen. So we know that the not only the vehicle users and common people like us should not only be protected but also the traffic police so that in turn they can protect us. The next user is the vehicle users. The vehicle users comprise of many different people and many different people who ride different vehicles, which include from small vehicles like bikes and bicycles to medium vehicles like cars, autos, rickshaws to heavy vehicles like trucks, containers, etc. There isn't only one or few vehicles, but multiple vehicles in multiple directions, which need to be cleared to prevent congestions in traffics. These vehicles should not be collided with each other so that there won't be any accidents caused in the road and they would not in turn obstruct the traffic flow. Moving on to the next user, the pedestrians. Pedestrians are the people who cross the roads while there is an obstruction in traffic which is usually from the red light. Pedestrians form the largest category of traffic accident victims. Usually, the death is caused by the blood loss due to time delay of arrival of emergency vehicles and collisions of vehicles with the people. This includes from little children running over the road to old people walking, trying to cross the road. And there may be a speeding bike or a heavy container vehicle which may collide the person and results in accident. The attempts to prevent accidents have increased by imposing strict traffic rules, but still accidents take place. Not all traffic junctions have footbridges and underpasses, so pedestrians are potential users. So there are very different types of users which we have to concentrate on, and one of the very important user is pedestrians. Now moving on to the next user, the emergency services. The emergency services comprise of ambulances and fire engines. These are the services on which our lives depend, since the time of arrival of these services usually depends the fate of our life. The number of deaths are increasing due to delay in arrival of emergency vehicles. There are multiple reasons for this delay. Usually, the most important reasons are traffic congestion. As we know, many of the metropolitan cities are heavily congested with traffic, and it takes so much time to move from one place to another. So, this is the same condition for emergency services also. There may be deaths caused by blood loss, which is due to the failed arrival of time by the ambulance. These emergency services, such as ambulances and fire engines, must be on time to avoid loss of human life.
Now we discuss about different perspectives, the different users in this problem statement. Here first one is the traffic police perspective. In this perspective, they experience so much stress during the peak hours of traffic. Also, we can see many people do not follow the rules at this peak time as they find the traffic stressful and there are lots of heavy vehicles and noise. Traffic police need to stand hours at junction in order to regulate and clear the traffic manually as traffic light system at junction fail to manage the traffic at peak hours usually. They can't handle each and every problem faced by people during peak hours as need they need to control remaining lanes too in order to regulate and manage the traffic as fast as possible. Next, we move on to the next user perspective, that is vehicle user perspective. Vehicle user perspective. We can also call it as road user perspective too. Here, we can say that there is an increase in stress and frustration among the motorists and other vehicle users that are stranded in the traffic. And we can see that there's a wastage of fuel as they happen to stay in the traffic for a long time without any movement. We can see that so many of them experience delays for their important works. So it may even have a personal as well as professional loss which may affect their life. And the traffic jams do have a negative impact on the mind as the constant blowing of horns create excessive noise pollution which gives them headache and etc. Next, we move on to the next important perspective, which is a pedestrian perspective. Here, they are users of road via walk. They are most prone to accidents on traffic jams, and pedestrian related crashes mainly happen due to the blind spots and failure to look both ways, etc. So, by controlling traffic, we can reduce the pedestrian accidents to some extent and we can save their life, etc. Now, we move on to the emergency vehicle perspective, which is one of the main and important perspectives. Emergency vehicles perspective. Generally, traffic congestion leads to the long waiting times and often blocks the path of the emergency vehicles like ambulances, fire engines, etc., which may lead to loss of human life in critical cases. So, number of deaths would rise to the greater extent due to the delay of the arrival of emergency vehicles and services. Hence, emergency services must be on time to avoid the loss of human life and helping an emergency vehicle move out of traffic congestion is very important.
Now, let us deeply understand our problem statement with the help of this case study. This is a four road junction. Four traffic lights separately placed for each road end. Here, they need effective management to minimize crashes. There are two means of traffic control at busy interactions like this. That is, they are traffic light and traffic police. However, their existence does not decrease traffic congestions at these busy roads. Many intersections like these uses fixed time sharing policy. That is, one lane will have green light for 60 seconds and the opposite lane will have the red light for 60 seconds. That is, for example, if the green lane is free and the red lane is full and heavy vehicles, they cannot move, and this increases the density of the red lighted area. So this may create traffic congestion. It can't help prioritized vehicles like fire engines and ambulance, so it causes many life loss. Policemen stand at center of this intersection and direct drivers using hand gestures. However, they are not efficient because the people at the long cannot see these hand gestures and queue management is not proper. Sometimes these signals conflict with that of traffic lights. Thereby, it creates confusion among one lane people with the other lane people, and this also causes congestions. Some drivers may not see police signals, which may lead to accidents. This is an solving worthy problem. This is one of the relevant problem existing in the society. Hope we find solution as soon as possible. So We conclude our understanding of the problem statement here. On behalf of our team, thank you for giving this golden opportunity to explain our problem statement to all.